I didn't say if you're a feeling person, you're not logical, but to a feeling person is what's important right now. To a feeling person, 2 plus 2 can be 7. Because they're not into the logic, they're into what's important. So if you have a meeting, what bogs us down? If you have a meeting, you know, I think Ronnie White, he's a strong thinking person. Okay? So I'm a feeling person. So if I raise my hand and make a decision where my 2 plus 2 could be 7, because I'm into what's important for group right now, right? Ronnie's going to start talking to me like I'm not as smart as him because 2 plus 2 can only be 4. You see my point? And that's what messes up organizations working together, because thinking people can appear to be condescending. They're like, yeah, Harry's elevator goes to the 5th floor, I think that damn door is stuck. You see how they start talking like that? Because I acted like 2 plus 2 was 7, and to a thinking person can only be 4, and if it's not 4, they start talking to you like you have a problem. That's a barrier to us moving forward. You see my point? So you got to be careful about that. The feeling people are what's important, thinking people are logic, 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, now, who are the J people on the left side of page 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, who are the P people? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, first of all, the people in the room that are sensing people and J people, you're bothered by the fact all these numbers don't keep adding up. But see, since I'm an NP, I don't give a happy about them not adding up, because I got enough data. See my point? See what's happening? Man, he can't even count. He got 12, he only got, hey man, let that go. See, because that's your preference. Now, here's what happens. The J people, the 7 of you, raise your hand. J people rely on your judging process, your thinking, feeling. J, judging people live in a planned, orderly, controlled life. They normally go through life wanting to regulate things that control them. So putting closure is very important. The P people, for the word perceiving, there are 4 of you, live in a spontaneous, creative, adaptive environment so you can leave your options open. Okay, now here's what happens. Group by group has a meeting. You got a strong J person that's heading up the meeting. Now, every time the J person, judging, tries to close the meeting up, a P person in the audience got their hand up with this what? Creativity, new ideas. You see my point? Okay? Now, the J person trying to close the meeting again. Boom, another P person got their hand up. The next thing, the P person starts getting on the J's nerves because they're trying to close up and they keep interrupting it. You see my point? And then the J people start showing the frustration. You see? And then to the P people, it's like you don't want to consider them. You know, man, they don't want to hear what the hell I got to say. It's not that. It's the J person's trying to put closure, and every time they try to close something up, a P person has their hand up. See, so there are times group by group needs closure, and there are times we need what? Creativity. But the mission should define that and what we've agreed to do ahead of time, not by one individual. You see my point? So now think about that. J people like closure. Okay? Now, I want you to think about this. Those are your 4 letters. Okay? Now, what I want you to do now is, everybody's got their 4 letters on page 6. Is that right? Okay. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Those of you in the room, I told you to go to page 5 and stop. Don't go any further. Those of you that are N's, the 7 of you that are N's and the P's, you probably went past page 5 and went to page 6 and 7. I know damn well you did because I watched you. See my point? I told you 5 damn times. Go to page 5 and stop. Don't, if you got that 6th sense, you're going past the page because that's your preference. See my point? I'm just telling you, this is how it's happening. No, don't act like you got a halo over your head now. It's too late for that shit now, man. You know what I mean? I know. I watched every one of you just to see. Now the SJ people, they go to page 5 and wait because that's that what? See my point? Now one thing before I do that, see that comes from the military. The colonel would chew out the major, just chew the major out. Colonel okay, major not. Major, man, I hate this shit. I never want to work here again. Then the major say, wait a minute, I got some captains out there somewhere. Then the major call a meeting with the captains, chew the captains out. Now the major's okay, the captains aren't. They didn't like it, they called the meeting to chew who out? Lieutenants. Captain okay, lieutenants not. Lieutenant said, hell, I don't like this damn job, man, I quit. And the lieutenant said, wait, man, I got some sergeants out there somewhere. They call a meeting and what? Jump on the sergeant. Now lieutenants are all right, sergeants aren't. The sergeants didn't like it, so they jumped on who? See, and they didn't, in corporate America, the workers didn't like it, so that's where unions came from. See how they seek their own level? They didn't have anybody to jump on. So it should be, I'm okay, you're not okay. So most old organizations, people felt good by what? Things they accomplished, material things, status and all. Man, you can do that internally. If you're feeling good in here, you don't need the bad things to happen to anybody else for you to feel comfortable. So if anybody in this room starts feeling uncomfortable about another brother's misfortune, there's something going on in you ain't dealing with, because you don't need them, what, for you to feel good. You can do it on your own. You see the difference between that? So that material, because I remember in our 40th anniversary in let's see, 40th, we were trying to do 92, okay? I wanted to do it on Morgan's campus. So I contacted President Richardson. You know, I said, hey man, we got a 40th coming up, man. In August, your dormitories are empty. We'd like to fill up your dorms to bring some revenue to the campus. We want to do all our food on the campus, do your food service with a historically black campus, and get the young guys to come where we started on Morgan's campus. You know what the emails I got from the older guys? Like me, then shit, I ain't staying in no dorm, man. I want to stay in the Hyatt with a cell phone and a sauna with my Mercedes, man. See how that Western thing has us? We didn't have it. Look where we were able to what? Develop. We didn't have none of this stuff they have here. So I'm saying we have to change the thinking. Why go to the Hyatt and give them $25 a plate for something? You see my point? Right. Go to Morgan and give it to the food service, man, so they can make some money. And they were charging $40 a night or something from Thursday through Sunday. They bring all the towels and fix up the room. I was concerned about the concept. Now I know some of you would argue, well man, I'm married, got kids, I'm used to staying home. So I've been staying in hotels before, you know, I do that for a living. But I was willing, when you look at the mindset, man, you know, because believe it or not, that's how we actually grew. Right? In 65 or 4, we started having conclaves on Morgan's campus. And at that time, we might have had 10 or 12 chapters. Everybody came to Morgan's campus from Thursday through Sunday. Okay? Now, you look at 300 groups walking around with these jackets on Morgan's campus. No other Greek organization ever had that happen in their history, because they were having their plays in the city. Even at homecoming, you never saw 300 of any organization on that campus. That's why I know during 70, 68, or 9, we had 110 groups on that campus. And look at this. And that's because of this. And think about that. And Ron was talking about us finding out who the brothers that we actually have and all are. From 62 to 70, we were pledging maybe 3,000 or 4,000 a year. We had 14 chapters in North Carolina alone. Elizabeth City, Shaw, St. Aug. Right? What's on the center?
You're going to miss something.
No, wait a minute. No, I've been every one of them. I still remember, man. Then we used to go to Elizabeth City, because they forget that up in the corner then. Then when you had Shaw, St. Aug, North Carolina Central, right? That hell of a track team then, man. They take a cab to a track meet and win the whole meet. You know, that's how bad they were. Then you went down the road to what? Winston-Salem. Then you had, well, Bennett was a woman's car. They were like the elite then, you know what I mean? Then you had A&T. You had Barber Scotia, Livingston, Johnson C. Smith, and even Charles Byrd went to Durham Business School, I think, something like that. We had 14 chapters in that state. Nate Bennett. See, so they were after us. So we were pledging an average of 3,000 or 4,000 a year for a good 5 or 6, 7 year period. Then things started to slow down. Now I was talking to some of the brothers in South Carolina State. See, the fraternity people were starting to head these administrations. And they were leaning on us for pledging, you know. And I got a call from South Carolina State in the 70s, a guy by the name of Oscar Butler. He was vice president of student affairs. He was a Kappa. Only reason I went down to meet with him because his roommate was a worker of mine with Bethlehem Steel, was an attorney. Andy Rodriguez, a world-class hurdler. And I went down to talk to him about leaning on the groups in South Carolina State, because they were trying to put them off campus. You see my point? And even at Penn State, who's the brother from Penn State? Yeah, man, Penn State there. In 1969, they took 1,400 people, African Americans, onto that campus to meet the new requirements for minorities and all. 1,400 people, and that's freshman year. You know, and when everybody came in September, by May, when the weather got warm, all the brothers were hanging out on the wall there. I don't know if they let them hang out there anymore. And we got a call from the dean, because they'd never seen what? 200 or 300 African Americans along a wall, and the state has what, in a state college with less than what, 3% African Americans. When school's out, you don't see anybody. You see some professors and all, So you got to think about that, man. 20% of people that look like us that go to the Ivy League schools are from Africa today. Think about that. 20% of the Africans that go to Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, are coming from Africa. See, so where are we in this process here, man? That they're getting all the education. Okay, that's something different. I want to get on that movie later on. Okay, now, when you were talking about your profiles here, when you have those letters and you have those individual differences there, when we start doing this team building thing, the only goal for going through this is I'm okay, you're not okay. Now, once you put these statistics here, and I'm going to ask you to do something with us in the next few minutes, because I don't know what time am I supposed to be finished out?
You're actually 1 minute past.
I'm 1 minute past? Okay, can I get a couple minutes to finish
Yes,
this?
sure.
Okay, all right, since you all started me late, right? Didn't you all start me late? I got a couple of minutes, man. You know, I'm not trying to bogart, man. I'm just letting you all know I started 17 minutes after I'm supposed to start. Okay? So instead of messing up your schedule, I only take half. Now, put these figures down. 70%. Okay. Now, when you communicate in group by group, when you communicate with each other, people pay 70% attention to your body language. So somebody put on a sheet of paper, 70% equals body language. Okay? They pay 23% attention to the tone of your voice. And 7% attention to the words that come out of your mouth. Now this is for groups working as teams and stuff, working together. Now, that means when you, those of you that are leaders, when you go back in your schools and start leading people, people pay 70% attention to your body language, which is what they see, 23% attention to tone of your voice, which is how you say something, and 7% attention to the words. Now, if that's true, what that means is people will believe what they see you do, body language, before they believe what they hear you say. They'll also believe how you say something, which is the tone of your voice, before they believe what you see. And what people see in you, before what you say. What people see in you, 70% body language, and how you say something, 23%, these two, they're 93% of your communicative process in the nonverbal. They're nonverbal. Nonverbal. Children ages 7 through 14 are very, 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 very tuned into nonverbal communication. What they see you do and how you sound, not the words. And yet when we communicate, kids, it's always Junior, I said, Susie. It's always what we said on our lips. You better start paying more attention to the overwhelming significance they place on your nonverbal communication. You see my point? Now I want to just do this. Everybody just raise your right hand 1 second. Just let the arms just circulate. Now form a circle like that with your thumb and forefinger like that. And put that right here. Put that right here on your chin for me, please. I know what y'all saying. This dumb ass guy don't know where his damn chin is. I know where my chin is, man. That's not my point. For those of you trying to be correct, you're going like this. See how we got that? And I don't care about all that right now. My point is this. I asked them, now get real. This deals with leadership. I said, raise your right hand, form a circle, thumb, forefinger. I asked you to put it where? Where did I put it? Where did some of you put it? Okay, and some of you still don't know where I want you to put it. See my point? But now, get real. If you don't know what I just asked you to do, you're the ones that are correct, not me. Why the hell should you know what I want you to do when I said one thing and did something else? It's called mixed communication, and it affects whether people follow you on their own. So if I come to Groove, right, or if, let's say you're my boss, right, and you tell me to put my hand on my chin, yours better be sitting there already because I ain't following you nowhere. Now, you say, Barry Hampton, if you don't follow me, I'll fire you. Well, I'll follow you now, but I'm following you for a different reason. I'm following you because you threatened to fire me, not because you've been there, done that, look like you know what you're doing. There's a difference. And the leaders we're developing, we're talking about people following because they will what? Believe in the concept and things like that. Okay, now, if you don't like me, to show you how this works, suppose every time you see me, I irritate the living shit out of you. You just can't stand my guts. Okay? So now you're the president of the undergrad, you call a meeting, you call me to come to the meeting. And I said, man, I ain't feeling well, I ain't coming to some meeting today. You say, well, Barry, we're really going to miss you. Then when you hang up your cell phone, you go, yeah, I don't like him anyway, you know what I mean? Okay, now, I changed my mind, I decided to come to the meeting. I call you on the cell phone and tell you, I changed my mind, I'll be there, but I can't get through to you. So now you coming up in a meeting, and when you look up, the first thing you see is who? Barry Hammond. And the minute your eyes see me, boom, hits you just like that. And it travels so fast, before you can get your brain operating to let me see what you like me to see, you move already, 70%, don't give a happy what the hell you say. See my point? See, some people say when I see it, I believe it. Others say when I believe it, I see it. When you believe, move, and you see it, you communicate differently. That's why we need a mission and a vision. That's why we need it, because if you're not sure where you're going, any road will get you there. There's a purpose for having all this, so that everybody's behavior is directed what? Towards the same thing. And we did the city council, man, it used to take me an hour to develop a mission statement. It took me all morning with them, because they're used to voting on everything. You see my point? And then we finally got the mission statement, we were trying to get consensus on it, and finally the president of the city council, Sheila Dick, said, look, I'm tired of all this shit, we're going to vote. Because she was looking around, the 19 people in the room, she kind of looked and see, we voted, I got about 12 of the vote with me so we can go on. And I called the meeting and said, look Sheila, if you vote, my job is finished. The vote being teams. You can have your money back. But see, that's my point. You can have your money back, because if you vote, it's not for what I came here to do. You asked me, so you wanted to work together as a city council, as a team for a common goal, and voting won't do it. So we called the meeting, went back in the hall for a while, came back in. She said, well, our instructor, hey, wait, don't put it on me, baby. You asked me to do teams, which is working together. So, okay, so we worked on that as well. You see my point? So when you think about the teams, there's some stuff. If you need help doing teams and things like that, not just me, Alexander Russell, we have other people in the organization that will help you with that as far as working together. Because when you're intellectual, when you start having degrees and all that stuff, think you know more than anybody, that can become a barrier to us working together. You got to kind of let that go a little bit. You see my point? Because in '94, I got called by some doctors involved in total health care to do a team building retreat, because all these doctors had come together to form their own what? Company. But they were losing money because doctors ain't used to working together. They all got their own successful businesses individually. Now they came together. So I normally meet once with a group, and then I developed a retreat. With these doctors, I had to meet 3 times with them. And then the third time I met, they were going to try to tell me how to do the retreat. I said, the hell with you all, man. I do this for a living. I said, if I want surgery, I'm coming to you, but I'm not coming to you for how to work as a team, because the reason you get ready to shut this building down next month is because you don't work together, and you need to get high off of that intellectual thing and start building working together. So then we had a team building exercise. They didn't do well on the exercise and working as a team. Now they're going to try to get on me. I said, look, man, just forget it. We can stop the retreat. You need to get somebody else up in here to work together. Now, if you want somebody to help turn your company around, that's what I do for a living. If you all want to look all important with them degrees and all, you can have it and shut the door down. That's where you're at. You know what I mean? But they just made me so mad because they've been trained to what? Know everything. You see my point? They write prescriptions for you all. You don't even know what it says on there. Act like you know what the deal is. It's in Latin, isn't it? We don't even know what the hell it says.